Hello once again, witchy people. I thought I'd take the opportunity whilst I was sat here trying to get some work done to have a little chat, because you know how much I like to chat. So, and today's rather obvious chat is going to be Samhain. You have to excuse the camera angle because I have to put the camera up out the way because I'm using my desk. As you can see, it's all full. So Samhain. Now I know I talked about it last year, but it seems to me as though this year a lot of people are filled with some trepidation over what's going to be behind that moon, that blue moon. And I think that trepidation is mostly due to what the whole world is going through at the moment, and I don't think there's any need for trepidation. And yes, it's an end. So we tend to think of Samhain, Halloween, as a doorway, a portal to the darker part of the year. And we associate it with death because it's the death of the year. And I think because of the way we are at the moment, there is this mindset of pessimism, really. And what we have to think about is with death, there is rebirth. Now, I always find, and I've said this before, that between sort of Halloween and Yule, that it's almost like a dormant time. And maybe it is because it is a time of reflection and for planning and how you visualise how the following year is going to turn out. So it's not only thinking about how the past year has gone and things that we've done or not done, but it's also a time for planning for next year. And of course this full moon is a great time to plan for corresponding moon in April. But I'm not big on moon phases and stuff, so I just have to go and get pipette. So yeah, so yes, we have a lot of thoughts on death and endings, but with endings there are beginnings, and with death there is rebirth. And if we do not think about it that way, I think we're doing ourselves a great disservice. And we really need to, this year, more than any other, I think, as we are making preparations for Samhain, really think about and concentrate on how we are going to visualise next year. Because let's face it, 2020 has been a bit of a year that never was. It's been a bit of a no year, a nothing year, whatever happened to year. And cool, that's tight. So this year more than any other, I think it's really important to get some visualization going on and really think about how we want next year to be. Not just, you know, the practicalities of how we're going to manifest next year and how we're going to achieve our goals next year, but truly, they're different bottles. Oh, darn. Same amount. But truly visualizing it to make it happen. It's one of those, you know, if you can imagine it, it will be. That sort of thing. So now there has been a lot of speculation and thoughts about costumes this year, and about how it's wrong to dress up in sort of like horror themed thing. Well, to me, ghosts and ghoulies are a horror theme, and there's nothing wrong with dressing up as Halloween. I think there seems to be a preoccupation with, as I said, that this blue moon is going to be an omen of something terrible, and you really don't want to push that, and you want to try and avoid it as much as possible. And I think it's the perfect time to be someone else, be something else, and to really get out of yourself. So if you want to dress up as a serial killer or a zombie or anything else, I don't think that's being disrespectful. I think that's opening up yourself to change. More than that, I think it's definitely a way to let go of some of the stuff that's really wearing us down, the heaviness and the worries and the foreboding that a lot of us have. Me, not so much. I'm not seeing this. Sorry, I tend to do this. Make myself comfortable. I'm not seeing this as an omen of doom and darkness. I'm seeing it more as an absolute end. So rather than something remoulding from the ashes of this year, I'm thinking of it more as a complete new beginning, a whole new beginning from next year, with lessons learned from this year. I'm going to learn some lessons from this year, that's for sure, and I hope many politicians learn a few lessons from this year, and governments around the world. But for me, it's definitely going to be, yes, I've learnt some lessons, I've learnt my own lessons, and I've learnt other people's lessons, but certainly I want it to be a whole new beginning. And I think this last part of the Gregorian calendar, the year that we celebrate rather than the wheel of the year, so from sort of like beginning of November to the end of December, I really think it should be a time to prepare and visualise for next year, but to really cut off the problems of this year. It's time to put this year to rest. It's that's how I feel. I'm not saying this is how everyone should celebrate. So, and the thing is, I mean, my preparations have started already. I actually, for the first time in years, I made pumpkin pie. I don't follow a recipe. It's my own recipe, and much to the horror of many Americans, I actually put flour in with my eggs, and I use evaporated milk. And when I cook my squash, my pumpkins, I actually cook it in butter and brown sugar, whole. I cook it like a sugar pumpkin, which is, it makes the whole house smell lovely, just with cinnamon and brown sugar and butter. And the butter and the sugar basically make a caramel with the pumpkin at the bottom, and then you scrape all the edges out. And yeah, but I also do a savoury one where I then fill it with onions and peas and garlic and rice, and that's and it's nice with marrow as well. Used to do it with marrow, but it's nice to do with some pumpkins as well, not the orange ones necessarily. Anyway, going off course completely. I think that preparing this food as almost as an offering to your family, not just your ancestors, it's an offering to your family now. It's an offering to the end of the year. And as I said, my preparations start whenever. I don't have a set date, but certainly I think with Apple Day and having the pumpkins there, it just seemed as though it would be a good time to use them before they went off, because it would be a waste with these pumpkins to not have them used and just let them go mouldy. You know, it's an insult to pumpkins. It's an insult to nature. So yeah, as you're cooking and as you're preparing, even if you're preparing rituals and such like, just think about how maybe we need to celebrate next year. We need to definitely shake off this year. Rather than celebrate the year past, we should mourn the year past and celebrate the coming year, and really visualize how the coming year is going to be amazing. So how will I be celebrating Samhain? I'm not too sure. This year it's going to be a strange one. I think I am going to probably celebrate, and this is going to seem quite strange, by preparing for Yule. And I guess that's not really quite so strange, because as you celebrate Samhain, it is getting ready for those darker times of the year. So in a way, yes, I am doing that. I'm getting ready for the darkest and the, towards the end, and getting then to the lighter part of next year. I should say the darkest part of the seasons, because when you talk about the year and the wheel of the year in the same sentence, it can get quite confusing. But yeah, we need to shake this off, I think. I don't think there's any reason to be to have any forebodings with what's behind this new moon, this full moon, this blue moon. I think it's going to be... Oh, that's lovely. Oh, sorry. Ylang ylang. I think it's going to be definitely, like I said, not just a portal into the darkest part of the year, but more so than ever before, in our lifetime certainly, a portal for change and for visualising how much better the future is going to be. Get some positivity in. Yes, it's a time for reflection, and yes, for ancestor works, because we do think about death, but I think more than ever this year we have to think about rebirth as well, and about not just death but re-energizing and getting, for many of us, Samhain is the most important Sabbath of the year. There is nothing more important, and maybe we should, like I say, especially this year, really concentrate on making it the best Sabbath, the best celebration ever. Really put our all into it, because I think this year's proven, really without a doubt, that life is very short and things can change on a dime. And so we need to celebrate the good times when we can, but also prepare for the good times, because they be a coming. I think I've got delivery. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, witchy people. I'll be back very soon. Bye for now.